So far during the review, we've been able to remove a few superfluous steps, as well as disable some steps that we aren't quite sure that we need anyway. We've also saved our test case since we've modified it, and we don't want to lose any of the work that we've performed thus far. As a general rule of thumb, it's always a good idea to play back your test cases a few times repeatedly just to make sure that they consistently work as you expect. Well, notice that when we just played it back, the step to click on the logout image succeeded, but clearly we were not logged out of the application yet. That might be a fluke. Let's play the test one more time and see if it happens again. It did. The reason this is happening is actually, it may not be evident at first, but over time you'll get used to it. This test case tool will run from start to finish on its own time. It does a good job of interacting with the browser, but it doesn't really know whether or not the pages that it's interacting with have completed loading and rendering. In this case, after we clicked login, we notice that it takes a few seconds for the screen to completely render. During the time that the page is rendering, though, the test case proceeds and just completes. The problem that we need to solve is we need to tell the test case to be patient and wait for objects it interacts with in the browser. The way we're going to do that is by visiting this toolbox pane over here to the side. You'll notice that we have a bunch of different functions and sections that we can navigate through. The first one that we're going to use right now is wait for object, because what we need to do is we need to test case playback to wait for that logout button to be available. Let's click that item and drag it into the test case. You notice I can hold, as I'm holding the mouse button, I can move it anywhere I want in the playback. I need this to be before the clicking of the logout button. Now that I've added that to the playback sequence, I'm going to click this link to choose the object and navigate over to the logout button. Now that we've done that, let's log out of the application and play the test case back from the beginning. We can see the screen is rendering, and we see that the logout button was clicked. We're going to run this test one more time to make sure it does in fact work. The white screen while we're rendering, the clicking of the logout button. That's much better now. So we have been able to remove some steps, but in review, we ended up adding additional steps as well. Whenever you encounter problems during playback, if the problem is you're trying to click or interact with an object, it might be beneficial to always add a wait for just before that step. This will help make your test that much more bulletproof.